live once again at the Pontiac Silverdome. Just about to start the Class A state championship game between Traverse City and Redford Catholic Central. We've got a fine crowd here for Redford Catholic Central, and I don't know how many more people can be left up in the northwest part of the state. Frankfort brought a good crowd down for Class D, and all of Traverse City appears to be here for the Trojans. And now with the play-by-play of the Class A state final, here's John Tomlinson.
Thank you very much, Rick. Good afternoon once again, everyone, and welcome to the Dome State Championship Day on a Saturday. John Tomlinson, of course, with Mark Crawford and Bill Brandell for your action this afternoon. And this, of course, the Class A state championship game. Gentlemen, I know you covered most of the statistics in your pregame show. Any feel right now for what we might see here this afternoon in this particular contest?
Well, I guess my first suggestion for you would be that Bill mentioned he thinks Jim Woolley might open it up a little bit and throw the ball. I kind of doubt that. I think Traverse City's going to receive the football right here, and I think we're going to see 3 yards and a cloud of turf or whatever you get here in the dome, and not much more from Traverse City early on. I think Detroit Catholic Central will have to stop them several times before Traverse City's going to go to the air.
We're just about ready for the opening kickoff, and a much more loud and vivacious crowd here for this one. Here it is, the opening kickoff, Traverse City to receive. It's taken by number 12, Trev Gillow. He's out to the 10, the 15, and that's all. Hit immediately there by Arshan Stewart, the 170-pound sophomore. Brings them down, and Traverse City will start deep in their own end at about the 14-yard line.
John, going to be interesting to see now just exactly what Traverse City does, Coach Jim Woolley, and that offensive powerhouse ground game that he has established over the years, and especially this year. Will he go right to that and start pounding in at these Shamrocks from Catholic Central, or will he try to loosen them up early, as Mark suggests?
Well, we're about to find out as Traverse City breaks the huddle. Seri out over the football. Deere and Brook are the guards. Colin McPherson are the tackles. As this one's just about ready to get underway. The black and gold Trojans with the ball for the first time. Nadlicki, of course, their power back, their big runner all season long. Lobdell, the quarterback, in the regular season, 27 of 51. So, as the statistics would point out, they don't throw the ball a whole lot. They just move you out on the front of that line.
A little delay here, and I'm not sure why, John. The Traverse City team came up over the ball, and then the officials put up their arms and said, nope, guys, we're not quite ready yet, so go on back there and talk it over.
Well, they are still talking it over, and we're fired up and ready to get this one underway. Glad to have you with us wherever you might be listening in around the great state of Michigan. It's Championship Saturday here at the Pontiac Silverdome. This one, Class A. Traverse City and Detroit Catholic Central. Wing to the right side, handoff straight up the middle. Up and over the top, gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards on the play. Steve Zerlag, number 47 on the tackle. Nadlicki, the ball carrier. Krieger, also number 33 from his nose guard position in there on the stop.
And Nadlicki and Krieger wasted no time in getting reacquainted. The two gentlemen who met in the state wrestling tournament last year. Krieger went on to win the state championship.
They break out of the huddle now. 2 tight ends in a balanced line. Power I formation. Pro set backfield. Here's the snap. Handoff left side. Send 2 men through the hole and a trailer. Zerlag again coming up, making the stop. I didn't catch the ball carrier. It probably was Nadlicki again. It was the 3rd man through the hole. It's just that power formation right up the middle off the left side this time. Gain of 2, maybe 3. It's 3rd down and 3.
Already I'm seeing a line surge by this Traverse City offensive line, John, that is just awesome out there. They get off the ball super quick. They get great low position, driving position, and have been effective on the first 2 plays.
Power formation again. Here's the snap, right side. First down yardage, 30 up to the 35-yard line. Goes number 27, Brad Warren. Pat McHale, number 66 on the stop defensively for the Shamrocks, but not before Mr. Warren and company pick up first down yardage. It's 1st and 10, Traverse City, the first down of the afternoon. They're in their own territory at the 35-yard line. The series began at about the 14. They break the huddle now. 2 tight ends in a balanced line. Wing on the left side, pro set backfield. Pitch back coming around the left side. Nadlicki, the ball carrier. Out across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Stopped in there by Chris Johnston and Jim Gorney.
Brad Warren coming from his running back position there. Just a tremendous block on the defensive end of the Shamrocks to open a little bit of a seam there. It closed in a hurry, but we see some crisp blocking coming not only from those men up front for the Trojans, but also from those other running backs.
Handoff goes on the right side. Brad Warren again, the ball carrier out across the 40 to the 41-yard line.
Already, John and Bill, you can see Detroit Catholic Central cheating their 52 up toward the line of scrimmage. The linebackers are moving in closer, and the corners are now up within 3-4 yards of the line of scrimmage. Not respecting the pass right now at all. They are playing the run.
You're right. It looks almost like an 8-man front with one linebacker, Mark, as we look at it from up here.
They break the huddle once again. Single setbacks, wingbacks on both sides. Quarterback Lobdell up under center, calling signal. Man in motion going away is Brad Warren. Here's a snap, back to pass, almost falls down, throws it on the fly. It's complete. First down yardage run across the 45 at the 48-yard line. Ehrenberger, I believe, was the receiver. Mark Burkholder, excuse me, number 85, the 6'3", 215-pound senior tight end hauls that one in. First and 10 again for the Traverse City Trojans.
Greg Lobdell actually almost went down as he went back to throw the ball that time.
They break out of the huddle now. Wide receivers either side of the field, pro set backfield. Here's the snap, handoff straight up the middle, little running room across midfield into Detroit Catholic Central territory at the 48-yard line.
Well, I want to tell you, this is an impressive opening drive by the Trojans of Traverse City, and they are running it mostly right down the throats of Detroit Catholic Central.
Nadlicki was the ball carrier. Lou Yeager, the 200-pound senior defensive end, made the stop for the Shamrocks. Second down, 7 yards to go for the first down. The ball just inside Shamrock territory at the 49-yard line. Wing left, two tight ends in a balanced line for Traverse City. Man in motion, Warren going away. Fake to him, back to pass, rolling out the left side, looking downfield, throws it up, and it is almost intercepted, intended for Mike Nadlicki out there in the flat, but overthrown a little bit, and quarterback Lobdell had to get rid of it a little bit quicker than he wanted. Good pressure by the defense that time.
Excellent pressure by the defensive end that time as he did his job, got out there, and he's responsible to contain Lobdell, keep him from running wild out there, and he was able to do that. The ball thrown well over the head of the intended receiver, Mike Nadlicki, and as you said, John, almost intercepted.
Third down, 7 yards to go for the first down. The ball virtually just inside the midfield stripe. Traverse City with a shotgun formation. Lobdell looking downfield, getting pressure, can't find anybody. Cocks his arm, now he's going to run. He throws it up, and it is complete. And it'll be very, very close to the first down. Pulling that one in again, Mark Burkholder, the 6'3", 215-pound senior. Hauled it in, and he's very close to first down yardage. Steve Zerlag right there with him. But I think he's going to be a little bit short. It'll be 4th and short, and why not? The way that offense has been going so far.
Well, with the power running game that these Trojans have, obviously, there's not much question mark as to what they'll do. Mark Burkholder with his second reception in this ball game, 15 now on the season. What an excellent target he is.
4th and short. The Traverse City crowd is on their feet. Two tight ends in the bounce line. Quarterback Steve Lobdell up over the top. He's got it. Very close to about the 41-yard line.
Excellent play that time as everybody, including me up here in the booth at least, were looking for Mike Nadlicki, and the quarterback Greg Lobdell just jumps right over his center, easily has the first down.
Pat McHale laid on top and brought him down, but not before Greg got the first down yardage he needed. It's 1st and 10, Traverse City at the 41-yard line of the Detroit Catholic Central Shamrocks. An impressive opening drive. Wide to the left side, Brad Warren. Everybody else stays in tight. Referee doing a little adjustment to the football. Black and gold Trojans on the move. Handoff right side, up the middle, wide open for Nadlicki. Inside the 35 and down to the 32-yard line. Mike Nadlicki. Jim Corney finally brings him down, but another first down for Traverse City, now at the Shamrock 31.
Boy, and I am impressed so far with this offensive drive by the Trojans. Mark, you said just a second ago, lots of running, but a little pass mixed in there just to keep you on your toes. Boy, what a great crowd we've got from Traverse City. Every first down, they're on their feet and cheering, and they are really sparking this squad from Traverse City.
Class A football at its best. State championship on the line. Traverse City opening drive. Power formation. Almost a straight T. Handoff left side. No running room that time for Mr. Nadlicki as he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Possibly a loss of a yard on the play.
Complete change on defense. That time Detroit Catholic Central in a 61 had 6 down linemen.
Ryan Bell on the stop along with Ben Ferris defensively. It'll be 2nd and 10. Trev Gallo was the ball, or Gillo rather, was the ball carrier, and not Nadlicki. You just get so used to calling Nadlicki's number that automatically think it's going to be him. 2nd and 10. Slot right, back to pass Lobdell, looking downfield. Cocks his arm, now he's got to scramble, can't find anybody open. Now he's going to run with it. 35, 30, 25. Still on his feet inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Steve Zerlag came up to make the stop. Gain of about 8 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and short.
Well, let's give some credit early to Jim Hooley. He said in our pregame that he was going to be willing to put it up top here, and that's 3-4 times now. He sent his quarterback Lobdell back to throw the ball. That's a full game's work most of the time for Lobdell.
3rd and 2. Traverse City on the opening drive, moving from our right to left. 3rd and short at the 22-yard line of Detroit Catholic Central. Power formation. Here's the snap. Nadlicki gets the call off the right side. Bounces off front and dives ahead. He's going to be very, very close. Good second effort that time by Mike Nadlicki. He was stopped at the line of scrimmage, shuffled left, and powered ahead. He's going to be real close to a 1st down.
Well, we already mentioned that Nadlicki was in the state finals in wrestling at 198. They've listed him at 6'2", 215 here as a senior in this championship football game. That time his 215 pounds powered up in there and was stopped initially at the line of scrimmage, but Nadlicki, with maybe a couple of wrestling moves, slid off the tackle, found a little seam, and moved ahead. Going to call it just a little bit short of the 1st down. Going to bring up another one of those 4th down situations.
Well, they've had one on this drive back around the midfield, and of course, here's another one. Last time Greg Lobdell went up over the top. Everyone expected Nadlicki. Maybe we'll see that Nadlicki this time.
Traverse City's a right-handed club, like most of them are. 6'2", 235 pounds go the 3 guys on the right-hand side. So if it's someone other than Lobdell, if it's Nadlicki, I would think right side.
They break out of the huddle now. Sarah out over the football. Brooke and Beer the guards. Collins McPherson to the tackles. 2 tight ends. Brooke over in center. Power formation, straight T backfield. Here's the snap. Lobdell up over the top. He's got 1st down yardage at the 20-yard line. So they go the same way.
And once again, credit Dan Zardia, the center up there in front. Trey Brook right next to him. Jim Durr on the other side at the guards. Those guys go 185, 190, and 215. They submarine those defensive linemen for the Catholic Central Shamrocks, and Lobdell able to just leap over the top, dive over the top, just enough for the 1st down.
Traverse City starting to look like they're going to eat up the whole 1st quarter with this drive.
5 consecutive 1st down plays. This series started on their own 14-yard line. It's now at the 19 of Detroit Catholic Central. Handoff, left side, Nadlicki the ball carrier. Gets down to the 15, inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. And you called it at the beginning, Mark, 4 yards in a cloud of turf or whatever, because they're grinding out that yardage on the ground. Leo Kowak and Jim Gorney, Greg Puller on the tackle that time defensively for the Shamrocks.
I'm impressed once again with the ball control here. Mark hit it. They're not only using the clock, but very seldom will you see a high school team able to take the ball and move it 3 and 4 yards a crack down the field. Be interesting to see how many plays in a row here without a mistake.
Wing left, Traverse City, 2nd down 5, handoff left side, running room. Nadlicki's trying to shoot the 5 inside the 10, rather at the 8-yard line. And he'll have 1st down yardage, I believe, inside the 10 at the 8.5. Greg Taylor made the stop. Had Nadlicki not gotten tripped up a little bit, he might have gone all the way into the end zone.
Greg Taylor ought to be one happy guy right now, because he had one-on-one Mr. Nadlicki looking at the end zone, and he is fortunate that Mike Nadlicki lost his footing a little and went down, or he'd have had himself a real tough challenge.
1st and goal, Traverse City at the 8-yard line of Detroit Catholic Central on the opening drive of the football game. Wide to the right side. Straight split backs in the backfield. Handoff. Nadlicki going left off left tackle. Gets away from one man down to the 5-yard line. Pick up about 3, and that's all. Coming up, making initial contact, Greg Taylor again. Getting up off the bottom of the pile, number 71, Ryan Bell, the junior for Detroit Catholic Central. Talk about having your back against the wall. It's there now.
And watch now, John, for a little bit of skullduggery here as Nadlicki just carrying the ball at will and basically coming to the offensive left side for the Trojans. Watch for a little change up now, maybe going back the other way.
Straight T backfield. Here's the snap, handoff left side. Touchdown! Fulgerson. No, he did not get in. It was very, very close. Trev Killow, the ball carrier, off left tackle. And he had to be oh so close to that goal line. But they say his knee went down at about the 1-inch line. You could not get any closer to the end zone without going in.
Well, and the official double and triple clutched with his hands, thinking about going up there signaling the touchdown, and never quite did. This drive is now almost 9 minutes long.
Boy, they're getting the boost from the fans as they watch the replay on the big screen here at the Dome, and it looks very, very close, I'll tell you. Well, it's 3rd and goal, the 1-inch line. Will Lobdell go up over the top? Here's the snap. No, Nadlicki! Mike Nadlicki from a half a yard out goes in. And a very, very impressive drive to open this ballgame for the Traverse City Trojans.
Well, let's credit the left side of that offensive line for the Trojans. Matt Collins over there at a tackle. He's a senior, 6'1", 215. Jim Deere, he's the guard, junior, 5'8", 185. The center, Dan Sarya, senior, 5'11", and 190. And they did some work on this drive, and especially to the left side here as we got down inside the 20-yard line. Almost all that final yardage coming by way of the run and right over that left side.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If Catholic Central had any thoughts about Traverse City not coming to hit, they're thinking again, the extra point is up and good. 2:59 remaining in the first period. Traverse City 7, Shamrocks nothing. We will be back and remind you that our network sponsor is Denny's on this, the MHSAA Championship Football Network. Live from the Pontiac Silverdome, Traverse City in a very impressive first drive has drawn first blood, getting ready to kick it off, and here it goes. Johnston and Owens back deep to receive it, and it'll be Dave Owens. He fumbles the football at the 10 and has the ball on it. Inside the 10, the Shamrocks will start deep in their own territory at the 9-yard line. How about that drive, Mark?
I tell you, 19 plays, 86 yards. They ate up 9 minutes and 1 second. I'm not sure I've seen a better drive in any high school football game, much less in the state championships.
Bo Schembeckler would have been proud of that.
Oh, yeah.
Shamrocks with the football for the first time, break the huddle. Wishbone backfield. Quarterback Hawker up underneath, calling signals. Handoff left side. Running room out across the 10 to the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 6 yards on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd and 4 situation as Catholic Central, Tom Mock and company, come into this contest undefeated and looking for a Class A championship, but certainly know they're in a ball game now.
Well, field position, not exactly where the Shamrocks would like to start this drive after having their defense on the field so long. They'd like to have the offense moving for a while. That first play was a dandy. Maybe a sign of things to come.
Man in motion. Wing to the left, coming to the right. Pitch back going around to the right side. Running room out across the 20, the 25-yard line, or the 20-yard line, rather. Goes Dave Owens, the 155-pound junior, 555 yards in the regular season. Of course, Catholic Central winning that Catholic League. Joe Soferdine and Andy Bailey on the stop defensively.
Redford Catholic Central here in the finals last year lost a heartbreaker, a defensive struggle, 3-0. Perhaps this year going to be a little different kind of a final.
Well, it's not going to be 3-0.
No, it's not.
Receiver wide to the left side. Split backs in the backfield, man in motion. Here's the snap, handoff straight up the middle, little counter play. Little or no running room at all for the ball carrier that time. Lee Krieger has 12 touchdowns, the senior does on the year. Nathan Alger on the stop along with Joe Soferdine. Defensively for Traverse City, no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Detroit Catholic Central. The ball on their own 20-yard line.
Well, as we look at that defensive line for the Trojans, they're supposed to be 175 pounds average out there. And as I look at them, I think I can understand why some of the coaches are second-guessing those numbers.
Two wide receivers either side of the field. Hunter goes back to pass. No, it's a draw play, but didn't fool anybody. Right there and reading it perfectly was Mike Springer, number 50. Whoa, what a shot he put on the ball carrier. So the draw does not fool anyone. In fact, loses about 5. It'll be 3rd and 15 for Detroit Catholic Central.
Linebacker Andy Bailey was in there very quickly as well, number 70, 5'10", 170-pounder, and the coach in the phonetics that they give to us for each of the players explained pronunciation for Bailey's name as Bailey, as in, won't you come home, please, Bill?
Yeah, he's got quite a sense of humor, I noticed, as he was writing that stuff down. And I believe we're going to get too much time. We'll see it is. Costly penalty when you're looking at 3rd and 15. You sure don't want to make it 3rd and 20 without even snapping the ball.
Well, especially in this field position. We've already mentioned how difficult it is. First time you have the ball to start so deep in your end of the field, in that you sometimes have mistakes the first time you have the ball. You're a little keyed up. Timing isn't quite what it should be, and there's always the chance for a mistake, a fumble, something like that. And boy, now, as you said, John, you got 3rd and about 20. And you can count on the Traverse City defense teeing off on this one. Look out, Mr. Scott Hunter.
They're going after him. You can bet on that. Wide receivers either side, I formation backfield. Hunter going back to pass, rolling out to the left side, getting a little protection, throws it up over the middle, and it's almost intercepted at about the 25-yard line, but a penalty flag is down, and it's going to go against Traverse City. Doug Hewlett put his hand to his helmet. It looks like he's the guilty party. I'm not sure what it will be, holding or pass interference or something.
Well, Lou Yeager was the man that was interfered with, and there was a huge collision there, and the ball was thrown definitely beyond those two people, over their heads, but the official right on the spot comes up and says, nope, you can't do that, gentlemen, and that's a huge break for Catholic Central.
What will that be, a 15-yard penalty?
That's a 15-yard penalty, but more important than that, it's an automatic first down situation, and so that's going to keep the offense on the field for the Shamrocks, or for the Trojans, I'm sorry, for the Shamrocks.
So, big break for Detroit Catholic Central as they get the first down by virtue of the penalty. Move it from all the way out to the 25-yard line now from the 10, and new life, if you will, on this drive. O'Keefe goes wide to the left side, slot left, split backs in the backfield. And another flag goes down, and I'm not...
Somebody's in the neutral zone.
Okay.
High school football, again, if anyone even lines up in that neutral zone, it's automatically called. You can't jump off sides and jump back onside. The moment you step into the neutral zone or line up in the neutral zone, you're off sides. And one of the TC linemen put a hand across the line of scrimmage.
Well, Traverse City with a picture-perfect opening drive leads this contest 7-0 and did not make a mistake on offense. They've made 2 back-to-back here on defense. The momentum starting to swing by virtue of the mistakes and not the plays. Here's the snap now. Back to pass, looking over the middle. Got a man open. It's almost intercepted, almost completed, but a real good shot that time by Kelly Clark on Lou Yeager. I'll tell you, Yeager should have and almost did have that football, but Kelly Clark jarred it loose, and then it was almost intercepted before hitting the turf, but it'll end up 2nd and 5.
Well, that's a big-time hit by the 5'11", 165-pound senior defensive back. He arrived the same time the football did, and he jarred Big Lou Yeager.
2nd down, 5 yards to go for the first down. Detroit Catholic Central with the ball in their own territory at the 30-yard line. Seabuck wide to the left side, man in motion, moving this way. Here's the snap, pitch back coming to the short side of the field. Owens, the ball carrier, trying to find running room, can't get it, gains a yard, maybe 2. But Doug Hewlett comes up and makes the initial hit that time defensively. Also coming across Pat Bloom from his defensive end position, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 situation. That's the end of the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. The score. Catholic Central with the football. A puncher to Yeager pass covering about 15 yards. Gets some first down yardage out across the 45 at the 46-yard line. Kelly Clark defensively runs him out of bounds. And a big play right there for Catholic Central. Wide to the left side now, Chris Johnston, or rather Mike Mathis. Here's a snap, handoff straight up the middle. No running room at all. And there's some real wars going on down there in the pits. Joe Sufferdine, number 77 for Traverse City, and Chris Zernia, number 76, are really battling it out there. Mike Springer on the tackle defensively, along with Andy Bailey and Chad Stachnik. And we're getting some real hard hitting right now in the trenches, gentlemen.
And John Tomlinson, Bill Brandell, when was the last time any of us have done a football game where we get into the second quarter and each team's only had the football once?
That is unusual. Very unusual. Shamrocks with the football, first and 10 at their own territory at the 46-yard line. Here's the snap, handoff right side, Owens the ball carrier. Gets away from one man still on his feet, approaches the midfield stripe, and that's all. Coming up to make the stop, Chad Stachnik. Also in there with him was Noah Flores. And a host of other black and gold jerseys as the Trojans are doing the job right now. That one big penalty hurt him, and I'll tell you, we were watching Coach Early, and he got real upset about that call. His reading of that, and it should not have been an automatic first down, but rather merely a 15-yard penalty. But his judgment apparently didn't count. Shamrocks maintain possession. Up the pass, thrown up. Almost a double hit there. It was intended for Yeager. It bounced off his hands and was almost received over there by the wideout, Chris Johnston.
Well, Yeager's had over 30 receptions, and he's obviously the first choice for quarterback Scott Hauncher as he tried that little look-in quick pass again to his big tight end. That time it bounced off his shoulder pads and almost in the hands of another receiver.
Ilezovic will be standing at his own 35-yard line to punt this one away. Here's the snap. Gets a good kick away. Coming down, it'll be taken at the 20-yard line and coming to the right side now, cuts it up the middle about to the 25, and that's all. That's where the Traverse City Trojans will take over a 33-yard punt. Lou Yeager on the stop, and the Trojans will get the ball again in their own territory at the 25-yard line.
There's a flag down on the field, came very late. I'm not at all sure what it was. Came very late, was tossed up in the air, and one of the players caught it and ran halfway off the field with it. I think that's why you didn't pick it up, John. And finally, the player noticed he had it and threw it back.
It's going against Traverse City, and while they march it off, let's pause 10 seconds, allow our stations along the way to identify themselves. You're listening to Michigan Sports Services, a division of the Great Lakes Media Group. Looks like a personal foul, Mark, is what they've called of some nature, and it's going to move it all the way back to around the 13-yard line where Traverse City will take possession of it. Doesn't seem to bother them a whole lot. They started the last one at the 14 and moved 86 yards and 19 plays for the score.
Probably on the guy who caught the flag and ran off the field with it.
Yeah, that could be. Trojans break the huddle now. Two tight ends in a balanced line, split backs in the backfield, wide receiver to the right side. Lobdell calling signals, handoff left side. Nadlicki, the ball carrier, gets it back to the line of scrimmage, but not much more. Steve Zerlag coming up, along with Lou Yeager, to make that stop defensively. The Catholic Central Shamrocks in their royal blue and white, and of course Traverse City in the black and gold. The Trojans moving now from our left to our right. TC leading in the contest 7-zip. We're midway through the second period of play. John Tomlinson, Mark Crawford, and Bill Brandell, glad to have you with us. Wing to the left side, split backs in the backfield, pro set. Lobdell calling signals for Traverse City. Here's the pitch back, Nadlicki looking for room on the left side, doesn't find it. In fact, may have lost a yard, and that's going to bring up third down in a whole bundle, as in about 21 or 22. Pat McHale coming up and making the initial contact. So it's going to be 3rd and 21. The penalty, of course, coming on the punt that set them way back and give them long yardage, and we'll see if Lobdell and company go airborne.
Leo Kowalik in on both of the last two plays as well, a junior defensive end. Looks like an inspirational leader out there.
Wing right, man in motion going back. Lobdell back to pass, rolling out the right side, getting pressure, gets away from one man, now throws it out in the flat, and it's incomplete. Intended for Mike Nadlicki. Overthrown a little bit. Coverage out there on Nadlicki was pretty good by Kevin Jankowski. Jim Cornley putting on the pressure in the backfield and allowing, or forcing rather, Lobdell to throw a little quickly.
And Lobdell took a hit back there. Ryan Bell, a 6'3", 225-pound junior, got him right in the ribs.
So that will bring up 4th in a country mile. In a punting situation for Josh Werfel. He'll be standing right at his own goal line virtually. And of course, Catholic Central looking to get good field position here. Johnston and Owens back to receive it. Here's the snap, gets the kick away. It's a low spiraling kick, and it'll be fielded by Owens right at the midfield stripe. Trying to decide which way to go. Now he heads upfield at the 45-40 and out of bounds. So Detroit Catholic Central will get excellent field position. 36-yard punt, about a 10-yard run back, and it'll be Catholic Central ball at the 40-yard line of Traverse City.
I think the old coach Bill Brandell will agree with me for once that that's why you hate to see penalties as a coach, is that took Traverse City completely out of their offense when they stared at a first and very long.
Well, definitely, especially with the kind of offense that the Trojans like to run. They got themselves in a hole and just couldn't get that offensive machine rolling on that second possession.
O'Keefe wide left, Johnson wide right, back to pass. Country looking down there, and he's stopped. Getting through there on a big defensive play. Matt Bloom, the 175-pound senior defensive end, gets a sack and knocks him back about 5 yards.
Well, Scott Hauncher had his back to Pat Bloom that time and had his arm up in the air, and I'm surprised the ball didn't come out of there. Credit Scott Hauncher with some strong hands and fingertips as he took a great shot in the back that time and did not cough up the ball.
Shamrocks with the football now, 2nd and 15. The ball just outside the 45-yard line of Traverse City. Traverse City Trojans leading in the contest, 7-0. Here's the snap. Hauncher back to pass again, looking up over the middle. Got a man almost intercepted again. And in the air! It was tipped up in the air. That time by Scott Harris, and Chad Stockman came down with it. The ball was overthrown a little bit, and Harris reached up in the air, almost intercepted it, took a great shot. Stockman ran under the tip drill and got it.
Well, I was watching Traverse City warm up before this ball game, and they run a drill and practice that. And believe it or not, it happens right here at the beginning of this ball game. Scott Harris did take a shot, and that ball came off of his hands. Chad Stachnik coming from his linebacker position, going back deep, able to intercept the ball.
So the Trojans get the ball right back. Hand off left side, Nadlicki. Running room out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Gain of 3, maybe 4 yards on the play before he's stacked up by a host of Catholic Central Shamrocks.
Boy, Nadlicki, one of those ball carriers that even when you stop him, you kind of hate to. He's got his knees up high, and they drive like pistons, and every time he takes a shot, he hands out a little punishment to go along with it.
Well, he has that great lean, too, that running backs have, especially your power backs. He's 6'2", 215, and even when you do hit him and stop him, you lean forward, pick up another yard.
Nadlicki with 48 yards on the day so far. Gets the call again, I believe, and he takes it off the right side. We'll see as they unstack. Gain of a couple more yards, going to bring up about a 3rd and 5. Jim Gormey on the tackle defensively along with Ryan Bell. And it'll be 3rd down now for the Trojans.
The Shamrock defense has taken on a little bit of a different look as all of a sudden they are not right up there tight. Their linebackers are back where you normally would see them in a 52-style defense, and they're reading just a little bit more and getting a little bit better pursuit.
Double wing, single setback. Man in motion now. Here's the snap. Lobdell back to pass. Looking downfield. Cocks his arm. Throws one up. Almost intercepted, and I believe a reception. We'll see. It was, you thought it would have been intercepted. A good shot at it that time by Leo Kowalik. But he tapped it up in the air, and the receiver came down with it. The receiver that time was Trev Gillow, and he came down with the football, and it's very close to a 1st down.
Leo Kowalik, I think, is just running toward the blue in the end zone before he has the football. Ran right past it, tipped it up in the air, and left it for a TC receiver.
It's going to be about a half a yard or inches rather short from what we can see up here. And everybody's yelling go for it, but I think Coach Uli is going to say, no, that's not the right position on the field to go for it. We're lucky to get away without any points being put up against us the last time because they had good field position on the 40, and we got it on the turnover, so let's not give them another shot. Let's kick it away and hope our defense can do the job.
Well, that defense is only giving up about 8 points a ball game, and I'm sure that Coach Jim Uli, with his experience, the young man is just 60 years old out here, by the way, coaching today, and he's going to get him out of that field position.
Uli loves to fake it.
Josh Werfel back into punt formation, standing in his own 30-yard line. High snap from center, but he'll get it away. It's going to be a short kick off the side of his foot. It'll hit, but take a big Traverse City bounce. It's still bouncing. And it'll be down on the 15-yard line.
Well, the snap of the ball was way up in the air, and punter back there, Werfel, just able to leap as high as he could. Got the ball. By that time, there was a good rush. He had to get the punt off in a hurry. It was kind of a low and a wobbly kick, but John, as you mentioned, what a great bounce in favor of the Trojans.
Ended up being a 41-yard kick. The Shamrocks will take it now in their own territory at the 15-yard line. They break out of the huddle. O'Keefe wide to the left side. Chris Johnson wide right. Hauncher up under center calling signals. Wing is on the left, handoff. Single setback that time is Krieger, and he's stacked up net right at the 15-yard line by Mike Springer. The 5'9", 170-pound senior really put a pop on the ball carrier that time.
Springer playing a defensive tackle for the Trojans, and he bounced off the offensive blocker, was able to roll to the outside, and that's where the ball was intended to go, and he was just standing right there when the ball carrier tried to turn the corner and put the shoulder on him and drove him back. About a yard loss.
Wide receivers either side of the field. I formation in the backfield. Handoff, second man through. It's Owens, and he goes nowhere. Mike Springer again. Gets in there and makes a big stop for Traverse City. Scott Harris also coming up and making a pop, but Mike Springer doing the job thus far, and virtually no gain in 2 plays for the Shamrocks.
Nathan Alger helped on the stop as well. My kind of guy, 5 foot 5 inches tall, 170 pounds, and a senior, built like a fire hydrant. Gets down about 6 inches above the carpet here when he lines up. Looks like he's doing a limbo and just submarines and gets in for the play.
Traverse City fans yelling, "Let's go D." They're fired up about their team, and they've come here in numbers. I would think that Main Street is deserted up there, and another delay of game. The second one of the day for Catholic Central, and that's got to drive Tom Mock and company crazy when that happens, especially, again, Bill, at this position on the field.
Well, you hate to do this, just as you're mentioning. They're down on the 10-yard line now with 3rd down and 15, and obviously that calls for a pass play, but 2 things. You hate to throw it here and put it up and turn it over, and of course, if you get sacked, you're really putting your kicker deep in a hole, so this is just a tough situation.
They break out of it now. Wide to the left side goes Mathis. Wide to the right side is Johnston. Back to pass goes Hauncher. Good protection. Now it falls, and he goes down at the 10-yard line. Hauncher had protection for a moment, but then it collapsed. He stepped up in the pocket, and Sephardine and Stocknick were there to drop him for the sack. It'll be 4th down. That's the 2nd sack of the day for the Traverse City Trojans.
And sometimes that's called a coverage sack. As you said, Scott Hauncher really momentarily had time to throw the ball. There just wasn't anybody open downfield. He had to pull the ball back down, try to run upfield, and he got sacked.
Ilezovic standing in his own end zone. Hits it away. It was blocked, but the play will go for naught as flags did fly before the snap of the football. And we'll see what that's all about.
There was movement on both sides of the line of scrimmage early. I'm not sure who jumps first here, but somebody's going to encroach.
I think it was Andy Bailey that got through there on the snap to block the punt, but the penalty is going to go against Traverse City.
Yeah, it's 5 yards encroachment against Traverse City. Somebody got a head start.
Well, that'll give the kicker, Ilezovic, a little bit more room now. Instead of standing in his end zone, he'll be about at the 4-yard line when he lets it go. Traverse City receiver is standing at about the midfield stripe. Here's the snap. He gets time, gets it away. Wobbly spiral coming down, hitting on about the 45-yard line, and stays right there. And it'll be great field position for Traverse City when they take over at their 43-yard line of Detroit Catholic Central.
Coach Jim Ule's strategy to punt just a little bit ago when he felt the field position was not quite in his favor. Really makes up some ground here on the exchange of punts, John, as he must have picked up, let's see, 10, about 18 yards on the exchange of punts.
That kick only good for 28 yards. Traverse City with the football now. 1st and 10. Good field position at the 42, 43-yard line of Catholic Central. Power formation right this time. Lobdell under center calling signals. Hand off, sort of a cross bunt. Running room this time for Gillow. He's at the 40, the 35, down inside the 30 at the 27, 28-yard line. Johnston and Gorney on the stop defensively, but not before Mr. Gillow, who's averaging 8.8 yards per carry. Picks up about 12 or 13. 1st down again.
Well, Gillow found a little seam that time and was able to weave his way up and through that Shamrock defense. Little contact right at the line of scrimmage. He shook that off, cut back to the inside slightly, and found some running room.
Serra out over the football. Power right again. Here's the snap, handoff straight up the middle. The ball carrier that time, number 27, Brad Warren, the 5'11", 180 senior. Picks up 3, maybe 4 yards on the play. Pack McHale and Jim Gorney on the tackle for the Shamrocks, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 or 7 for the 1st down.
Traverse City now is able to use some of their other running backs. They've established Mike Nadlicki so much at this stage as the running back for them. They've got Detroit Catholic Central keying, and all of a sudden Gillow and Warren can burn you.
2nd down, man in motion. Here's the snap. Warren, the ball carrier, gets it inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. Pickup of 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. Once again, McHale, this time Yeager on the stop defensively.
And all of a sudden, John, the clock becomes a little bit of a factor. We're down to about 2 minutes now, and the ball, of course, at the 24-yard line. The Trojans with a normal running game, and if they try to pound it in there at 4 and 5 yards a crack, they got to begin to watch that clock.
They break out of the huddle now. Serra out over the football. Deere and Brooker the guards. Collins, McPherson the tackles. Burkholder the tight end on one side, is Zenner on the other. Oh, and the left tackle, I believe it was Collins, we'll see, jumped off. It was Matt Collins, a 6'1", 215-pound senior, made a boo-boo and jumped off sides. It's going to cost him 5, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10 as opposed to 3rd and 5.
I think we're going to get a timeout here. I also noticed as the Trojans backed up to get into their huddle that their guard, Jim Deere, is limping a little bit.
Timeout on the field. We'll tell you that one of our network sponsors is Farm Bureau on this, the MHSAA Championship Football Network. Live from the Pontiac Silverdome, John Tomlinson, Mark Crawford, and Bill Brandell for your pleasure on this championship Saturday. Class A action. State championship on the line. 3rd and 10, big play for the Traverse City Trojans. Shotgun formation, back to pass. Lobdell looking downfield, throws it up over the middle and almost intercepted and very neatly broken up in there by Greg Taylor, number 36.
Greg Paler already has 4 interceptions on the year, and he darn near had number 5. As he saw that one coming, came from that defensive back position of his on a streak, and had he intercepted it, he could have had some return yardage to go along with it.
1:34 remaining in the first half of play. Trojans leading the Shamrocks 7-0 in this, the Class A state championship game. We're going to have a field goal attempt just inside the left hash mark. They'll spot it at the 36, call it a 46-yard attempt. Got to be a lot of foot into this one. He's got the kick. It looks like it's got the distance, and it's good! Oh, what a great shot by Josh Werfel. Werfel with a 46-yard field goal. Timeout on the field, 1:28 remaining in the half. Traverse City 10, Detroit Catholic Central nothing. We'll be back after this word on the MHSAA Championship Football Network. Shamrocks with the football on their own territory. 1st and 10 on incompleted pass. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 27-yard line. What a field goal by Josh Werfel of Traverse City, Mark.
46 yards, and that breaks the MHSAA championship game record. 42-yarder by Jeff Fisher from Ann Arbor Pioneer back in 1984. Kicked at 46, could have kicked at 56.
I believe it. Yeah, he was halfway up the upright on that one, and a lot of leg. 2nd down and 10 for the Shamrocks as they break out of it. Here's the snap. Back to pass Hauncher. Looking downfield. Cocks his arm. Throws it out in the flat. Complete to Owens. Owens can't find any running room. Gets away from one man, but no, he's dropped at about the 25-yard line. Loss of about 3 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd down. Clock down to 50 seconds now.
Some great sportsmanship John showed there by number 25, Kelly Clark, for the Trojans, the senior, as he had a chance to hit the receiver there right at the end of the play and knew that he was down, dove over him. And, you know, intensity in a game like this is just at its peak, and to be able to do that is just a sign of great sportsmanship on the part of an athlete.
O'Keefe to the left, Johnston to the right. They hand off the middle. Owens, no running room at all. It's going to be 4th down. And we'll see if Coach Early wants to take a timeout here and keep a little time on that clock. And now he does. Traverse City takes a timeout, and we'll keep it right here. Remind you that if you'd like to have your own personal videotape copy of this particular ball game or any other state championship game here today at the Pontiac Silverdome, they're being promoted and sold by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, and it's very easy to get one. To order your tape, send $33.65 to Football Finals Tapes. Pontiac Silverdome, 1200 Featherstone Road, Pontiac, Michigan, 48057. Again, Pontiac Silverdome, 1200 Featherstone, Pontiac, 48057. $33.65 for your own copy, including play-by-play coverage of any of the 4 state championship games here today on Championship Saturday at the Pontiac Silverdome.
John, Bill mentioned the good sportsmanship on the field. Some great sportsmanship over here on this side as well from the fans. Frankfort was in the championship game and lost in the Class D final. And all of those Frankfort fans are now sitting over here in front of us along with the Traverse City fans. Some real area support.
4th down, punt formation. Pete Ilezovic standing at about his own 13-yard line. They got the block on, but he gets it away. Spiraling kick coming down. It's taken at the 45. Up to the midfield stripe. Tries to cut it back. Can't find any running room. Clock down to 5, 4, 3. And I believe they'll get 1 playoff here to end the first half of play. I remind you that Rick Berkey will have halftime features, including a personal interview with the Executive Director of the Michigan High School Athletic Association, Jack Roberts. So be sure to stick around for that. Another 28-yard punt by the Shamrocks. So they've had punts of 33, 28, and 28. Not real impressive so far from punt formation for Pete Ilezovic.
Well, Ilezovic's been averaging about 36.5 yards of punts, so he's a little bit under that today and struggling just a little bit. Been rushed. I noticed, John, that in punt formation, he's only about 11 yards deep. And when he gets the ball, he's immediately got people right in his face.
And now Traverse City wants to talk about it a little bit as they take a timeout before the clock runs out. There's 3 seconds remaining in the first half of play. The Trojans on top of Detroit Catholic Central, 10-0. And we've even got the band ready to go here, standing in the end zone, ready to move out onto the football field. Looks like the Shamrock marching band and, of course, the Trojan marching band here as well.
Well, I'm ready to get Rick Berkey in here and to move out and get a chili dog or something.
Me too. I'm a little hungry myself.
I guess I'd be real surprised to see Jim Uli do anything real fancy and fire it downfield, leading 10-0 here with just 3 seconds left.
Rick Berkey standing behind me says that's the Stanford band down there in California. Remember the great play where everybody's pitching it out and back and forth, and the
officials are worried about the same thing, and they just signal them all to back up.
Here we go, finally, for the last 3 seconds of the first half of play. Trojans up 10-0 with the football at the midfield stripe, just inside it, in fact, in Detroit Catholic Central territory. They break out of the huddle now. Wing is on the right side, power formation. Lobdell calling signals. Here's the snap, back to pass, rolling to the right side. No, he's going to run it, cuts for the sideline. Now upfield, got running room at the 45, the 40, and knocked down at about the 38-yard line. And that's the end of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. With the score, Traverse City 10, Detroit Catholic Central nothing. And we'll remind you that one of our network sponsors is Denny's Restaurants here on the Michigan High School Athletic Association Championship Football Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing, under the direction of Mr. Greg Normandin and led on the field by drum major Phil Witkowski, the Catholic Central Marching Band. begin our halftime festivities, the band asks you to reach back into your memories and meet George Jetson. Next, and in the tradition of holiday spirit, the band performs the old favorite, Jingle Bells.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's halftime presentation by the Traverse City High School Trojan Marching Band. With senior drum majors Michelle Shaw and Jason Zervin, the Trojan Band will open their performance by featuring senior trumpeters Amy Miracle and Ben Starren in the exciting Jay Bocook arrangement of Pictures at an Exhibition. The Trojan Band will close their show by featuring members of their low brass section in the beautiful Lionel Richie hit, Still.
right, a reminder for folks at home, there are 2 more great football games coming up across our network here today. At 5 o'clock today, the Class C game, DePores and Ravenna. 8 o'clock this evening, maybe the ball game of the day, Farmington Hills, Harrison, and St. Joe. And John Tomlinson is rejoining us with the play-by-play. 10-0 Traverse City out front as we start half number 2.
Thank you, Mark. Hi again, everybody. Second half of play just about ready to get underway. Detroit Catholic Central will receive and would very much like to get something going right away. As you recall, the opening kickoff of the ball game, Traverse City marched right down the field, 86 yards in 19 plays, and the Shamrocks would much prefer to start the half the very same way on their own end. Low squibbling kick taken at about the 25, out to the 30, the 35, up to the 40-yard line, and that's all. So it will be good field position, relatively speaking, for the Catholic Central Shamrocks as they start in their own territory at the 40-yard line. Pat Bloom and Kelly Cart making the stop on the ball carrier that time, bringing it back on the opening kickoff of the second half.
Jeff Seabuck on the return looked like a steeplechaser out there as he kind of jumped over water hazards and bodies and everything else.
Hauncher up under center, calling signals. Here's the snap, handoff straight up the middle. Pretty good size hole that time. Something worked on the chalkboard at halftime as a gain of about 7, maybe 8 yards on the play, straight up the middle. Kelly Clark and Noah Flores coming up and making the stop defensively, but again, an 8-yard gain on first down, 2nd and 2.
And up front in that offensive line for the Shamrocks, Rod Bernier, a senior 6'4", 230 pounds, and what a hole he opened up on that first offensive play.
Same play, same hole, across the 50 into Trojan territory. First down yardage at about the 48, 47-yard line.
Well, John, you said it. What kind of X's and O's were drawn up here in the locker rooms at halftime are going to be very important as far as this second half is concerned. The Shamrocks really thwarted offensively in that first half, and they've come out now 2 plays in a row running right up the middle behind Rod Bernier, Pat McHale, their center, Chris Zernia, the other guard, a junior in 5'9" and 200. They've been impressive.
This time they go around the end of Owens. Number 21, the speedster, 155-pound junior. He gets inside the 45 down to around the 43-yard line, where Kelly Clark and Joe Sufferdine, along with Nathan Alger, bring him down. Gain of about 4 yards on the play. We'll call it 2nd and 6, just inside the 45 at the 44. Again, Trojans leading 10-zip, just getting underway here in the second half of play. Catholic Central moving, however, on their opening possession. Jeff Seabuck comes wide to the right side. Man in motion going away is Johnston. Here's the snap. I formation. Handoff. Second man through. Owens trying to pick his way through that line of scrimmage. Find a hole. Doesn't find much of one. May have picked up a couple of yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 4, maybe 5 yards. We'll call it 4.
Well, look for Scott Hauncher now to at least try to find his favorite target out there is tight end number 89, Lou Yeager. 6'3" and 200 pounds. He's got over 30 receptions and 5 touchdowns so far this year. And he's just a favorite target and an easy one to pick out.
McHale leads him out of it, out over the football now. Power formation, back to pass, looking out in the flat. It's complete. The tight end, you called it, Bill. First down yardage inside the 35 at the 33-yard line. And Lou Yeager hauls it in. Coverage there from Ty Decker and Andy Bailey. But Lou Yeager, the big tight end, picks up reception number 30-something anyway, and moves it for first down yardage. So the Shamrocks on the move. 11-yard gain on that pass play from Hauncher to Yeager.
Well, Scott Hauncher really well at throwing that little action pass. It gives Yeager just enough time to get free.
1st and 10 again. Here's the snap. Straight up the middle they go with Lee Krieger, the 205-pound fullback. Gains 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. Inside the 30, they'll spot it at about the 29-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd and 8. Now for the Shamrocks, trailing by 10 in this contest, but moving the football. The series of downs originated on their own 40-yard line after the opening kickoff, and they now have it at the Trojan 29. Johnston goes wide left, split backs in the backfield, back to pass, looking down the flat for O'Keefe. Got it complete, not out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So a gain of about 6 on that one. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 situation for the Shamrocks on the completed pass from Hauncher to the wideout, Sean O'Keefe.
Well, what a difference field position makes in terms of the kind of plays you can call. And you see Detroit Catholic Central able to open it up a little bit now because they're in Traverse City's end of the field.
Moving from our left to right. Two tight ends in a balanced line. Split backs in the backfield. Wing is on the right side. Now man in motion. Pitch back going to the right side. Owens diving ahead. Looking for first down yardage. He'll be very close to it, but I think he's going to get a left foot mark on that one instead of a right foot mark, and he's going to be a little short. Kelly Clark came up and made the stop. It's going to bring up fourth and about a half a yard, and we'll see what Coach Mock and company decide to do about it.
Well, Dave Owens is a junior at 5'7", 155 pounds, and he's really been stymied so far today on his running, as he's kind of a little guy up there and not a power back. The backs that have been successful have been the big boys.
Two tight ends in the balanced line. Traverse City crowd on their feet. Handoff goes to the big fullback, Lee Krieger, and I don't think he made it. Traverse City right side, or left side rather, of that defensive line really jammed it up, and I don't think he made it. They're going to call for a measurement, gentlemen, but I don't know.
Well, once again, the spot of extreme importance here as the officials put that toe down and then decide where that ball's going to go. And that's kind of a objective thing to, or subjective thing to decide. But we'll have to wait and see where those chains go.
This one's within about 6 inches, I think, one way or another.
Well, I was going to say you'd know by the roar of the crowd, because the Traverse City fans right below us were on their feet from the time the ball snapped and Traverse City took over. The Shamrocks missed getting that first down by a matter of inches. It'll be TC's ball, 1st and 10 in their own territory at about the 21.5-yard line. They needed to get to the 21, did not make it.
That's still not all bad for Detroit Catholic Central. I think they have to feel like they came out, they moved the football, they know they can churn it out a little bit. If the defense can dig in now and stop TC, they're okay.
Here's the snap, handoff straight up the middle. Nadlicki, I believe, the ball carrier, gets it 1, maybe 2 yards approaching the 25-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd and 8 situation. Mike Nadlicki, what a ball player.
Well, he's a dandy, and it looks as though he's going to start this second half the same way that he did the first half, and that's running power football over the left side of that offensive front for the Trojans.
Traverse City breaks the huddle. Sorry out over the football. Deere and Brook to the guards. Collins, McPherson are the tackles. Two tight ends in a balanced line. Wing is on the right side. Now man in motion. Pitch back coming right. Nadlicki, the ball carrier again. Met right at the 26-yard line. Gain of 1, maybe 2 yards again on the play. Ryan Bell and Kevin Jankowski up to make the stop defensively against the fine running back from Traverse City.
Ryan Bell very quietly is playing a great ball game for Detroit Catholic Central. He's been in on 6 or 8 tackles now, 6'3", 225 pounds, and only a junior.
Traverse City with the football, leading in the contest 10-0, midway through the 3rd period of play. Glad to have you with us, wherever you may be listening in around the state of Michigan. Two tight ends in a balanced line. Wing is on the right side. Here's the snap. Quarterback keeper rolling around the right side. Lobdell with a little running room. Now he gets caught up in traffic. Dives across the 30, but it'll be short of the first down.
Well, I think he is going to be short, John, but what an effort by Greg Lobdell that time as he kind of changed up the offense that time and went to the wide side of the field, going to his offensive right. Really not a lot of room out there, but he made a cut to the inside, leaped over one defender, and kind of forward rolled with the ball up to the 30-yard line.
I'm not going to question Jim Uli's play calling, but unless I've got half a dozen good quarterbacks, I'm not making Greg Lobdell run that one in the state championship game.
Eric Breitup is the backup. He's also a senior. But you're exactly right, Mark. Here's the kick by Werfel. Gets it away. Pretty good spiraling kick coming down. They'll let it go. Takes a Traverse City bounce all the way down to the 20-yard line. And down there, the Shamrocks will take over 1st and 10 in their own territory at the 21-yard line. That kick covered some 47 yards by Josh Werfel, and his foot has been really important in this football game.
Well, he's already got that record-setting field goal, and his punting has been about 36 yards per kick so far this year, but that one's going to improve that a little bit, as once again, that ball seems to be bouncing for Traverse City.
Well, he's hit one of 36, 41, and 47 on the day so far. Handoff left side, no running room at all for the offense of Detroit Catholic Central, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Dave Owens on the ball carrier that time, and you pointed out earlier that he has been pretty much stymied, Bill, and you got to believe, looking at the way he runs, that he's an explosive runner. If he gets in an open field, he looks very quick and very fast.
I think that's exactly right. He's the fastest, I believe, of the Shamrock backs, and they're trying to spring him loose and just have not been able to do it so far.
Two wide receivers. Hunter straight back to pass, looking downfield, throws it up over the middle. It's caught at the 35-yard line and tackled immediately. Chris Johnston, averaging 8.8 yards per carry, but that time hauls in a big pass. Scott Harris right there with him, along with Andy Bailey. I'll tell you, don't ever think that Scott Hauncher at 6'4", 190 can't throw that football, because he put that one on a string.
Well, he really picked out a receiver in a crowd that time. That's Johnston's 16th reception, I believe. He's got 2 touchdowns by way of the pass.
Hand off right side again. Owens trying to find a hole to get through. Not much room there. He does get across the 35 out to around the 36 or 37. It'll bring up a 2nd and 8 situation. Chad Stocknick on the tackle defensively for the Trojans.
You two both mentioned Dave Owens and what an explosive runner he would appear to be if he gets in the open field. When I was playing and Bill, you were coaching, there was a guy at Jackson Parkside by the name of Tony Dungy. And our coach used to tell us the key to a guy who's got 3 or 4 different speeds is to make sure you keep him in first all night long. And that's what's happened so far with Dave Owens.
Wide to the left side on 2nd and 8 goes Mike Mathis. Wide to the right side, Chris Johnston. Single setback. Hauncher back to pass. Good protection. Cox is on. Throws one up. It's complete across midfield and into Trojan territory at the 46-yard line. Scott Harris on the coverage, but a great reception that time by Mike Mathis, covering 23 yards.
Once again, Scott Hauncher able to pick out his receiver in a crowd. A lot of defensive backs there, and Hauncher right on the money. And credit that offensive line for the Shamrocks. Hauncher with plenty of time to pick that man out and deliver the ball.
O'Keefe wide left, Johnson wide right, handoff straight up the middle, no running room at all. One thing you got to say, the Traverse City interior defensive line and backers not giving up any room at all today up the middle.
Well, again, the Shamrocks moving the ball offensively. Remember the first time they got the ball down to about the 20-yard line, and it got a 4th and very short situation, and the Traverse City Trojans able to stop them. But once again, they're moving the ball finally into Trojan territory, now at the 45.
Mathis wide left, Johnson wide right, I formation in the backfield. Here's the snap. Hauncher back to pass, getting protection. No, he gets pressure, throws it up, incomplete. No flags on the play. And I'll tell you, Hauncher had to get rid of that a lot sooner than he would have liked to. Mike Springer getting through there rather quickly, putting pressure on along with Pat Bloom, the defensive end. So we're looking at a big 3rd down play here now. Ball on the 45 of Traverse City. Catholic Central with it, trailing by 10, facing a 3rd and 9 situation.
Maybe not a bad spot right here for either a draw or a screen. Try and get Traverse City over pursuing a little bit.
Back to pass, looking downfield, throws it up. It's complete at the 30-yard line, 1st down yardage. Backs up a little bit, and they'll spot it at the 31. Scott Harris right there with them, but Chris Johnston on that down and in. It's been successful for them from both sides of the field, whether it's going to Mathis or whether it's going to Johnston. But that one picks up 14 yards and another 1st down. The Shamrocks keep the drive alive. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line of Traverse City. They break the huddle now. Wide to the right side goes Jeff Seabuck. 2 tight ends in a balance slide. Powers to the right side. Reverse counter going to the left side. The ball carrier this time is Chris Johnston. Johnston gets a little running room across the 30 down to around the 26 or 27-yard line before he's stacked up in there by Mike Springer and Andy Bailey.
Well, and credit Tom Mock once again with an offensive play calling scheme here that seems to be becoming more and more effective as this game moves on. Few passes thrown in here by Scott Hauncher that have been right on the money, and that's a change in itself for Tom Mock. And now he mixes in a little running game with it, and boy, that makes the Shamrocks a potent offensive team.
Hauncher calling signals, pitch back left, trying to spring Owens. Owens cuts it back up to the inside. Hit at about the 25, lunges forward down to around the 22 or 23-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 2. Kelly Clark on the tackle, also Noah Flores defensively for Traverse City as they continue to lead. 2:17 remaining in the 3rd period. Trojans on top, 10-0.
We hadn't mentioned it before, but the pollsters ought to be pretty happy about this football game. It's #1 against #2. Traverse City finished #1. Catholic Central #2 in the final AP poll.
Got one of those going on today in the college ranks as well. Handoff left side. Owens breaks away. He's on his feet. 15-10, 5, touchdown. Dave Owens, the 155-pound junior, breaks a tackle back around the 20-yard line, cuts to the inside and dashes to pay dirt. Touchdown, Detroit Catholic Central. They're on the board.
Dave Owens, something we've expected all along here, just has not been able to shake through that line of scrimmage. That time, Johnny found a little bit of a seam, was hit a couple of times, and as Mark said, he got it into second gear that time and popped it into third as he crossed the 5 and on into the end zone.
Ilezovic ready to attempt the extra point. It's kicked, it's up, and it is good. 1:53 remaining in the third period of play. It's now a 10-7 ball game, and we'll tell you that Denny's is one of our network sponsors. You're listening to the MHSAA Championship Network. We've got a football game, ladies and gentlemen, Class A style. State championship on the line, and Detroit Catholic Central is right back in it, 10-7. Here's the ensuing kickoff now. Pete Ilezovic ready to go. He's got his hand in the air and approaches the football, and bingo. High end-over-end kick coming down almost out of the end zone. Tell me the adrenaline is not flowing in that Catholic Central team right now.
Sign him up.
Oh, what a change for the Shamrocks, as in the first half, offensively almost completely shut out as far as moving the ball. All of a sudden here in the second half, they've had two very impressive drives. The first one, they got stopped at the 20-yard line. The second one, 83 yards, 11 plays. Just an offensive machine that we hadn't seen early in the ball game.
Coach Mock's got to be very happy, as Rick Berkey pointed out. They were shut out last year in the state final game. That was 6 quarters without a score. Finally broke that change. Traverse City with the ball, handoff. Nadlicki, the right side, across the 20, out to around the 22. Ryan Bell meets him there along with Lee Krieger. Gain of about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. Traverse City starting their own territory at the 20-yard line after the touchback.
Kind of an important possession now for Traverse City, as momentum swinging in favor of the Shamrocks here. Your defense gets kind of a pick-up or a lift when your offense is able to take the ball impressively like that. Now the defense is fired up. It's up to the Trojans now to steal a little thunder back.
2 tight ends in a balanced line. Wing is on the right side. Lobdell calling signals. Here's the snap. Handoff left side. Big hole out across the 25 to the 28-yard line. Good defensive job by Steve Zerlag, because he was the last one, and Greg Paler, or the ball carrier, was off to the races. There was a giant hole on the left side of that line.
That's a fascinating little counter play where they give the ball to a back going right who immediately hands it off to a back going left. It's a reverse, but none of the time that you normally associate with a reverse.
Well, it's an inside handoff both ways, and if there's any defensive penetration by those defensive linemen, you got trouble. You got fumbles.
Same formation, 2 tight ends in a balanced line, man in motion, handoff right side. Across the 30, first down yardage for the Traverse City Trojans as they get it out across the 30 to the 32. Nadlicki, the ball carrier, Zerlag and Jankowski on the stop defensively for the Fighting Shamrocks.
Is it my imagination, or after that first drive when he threw 3 times, has Jim Uli given up the forward pass?
I don't think it's your imagination, because he hasn't thrown it since then, as I recall. But I don't know that he's given up on it either. That remains to be seen. 2 tight ends, the balance line once again. Power left this time. Man in motion going back. He gets the ball. That's 27, Warren, the ball carrier, out close to the 35-yard line. Gain of 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. Jankowski and Krieger on the stop defensively for the Shamrocks. It'll bring up a 2nd and 7 situation for Traverse City, leading 10-7. That's the end of the third. Live from the Pontiac Silverdome, Traverse City versus Detroit Catholic Central for the Class A state championship. Trojan with the football, second down, 7 yards to go for the first down. 122 yards in the first half, 23 in the second for Traverse City. Long pass over the middle, it's complete across the 50-yard, the 46-yard line. Mark Burkholder from Greg Lobdell, Kevin Jankowski and Larson Stewart on the coverage. Also Zerlag, but not until Mr. Burkholder picks up 18 big yards. And does that answer your question, Marshall?
Well, just like the commercials you see for the movie, just when you least expect it, he's back.
Good play call that time. Just a quick pop pass over the middle to the big tight end. 6'3", 215-pound senior. Takes it 18 yards, first and 10, Traverse City. Lobdell barks the signals now, first and 10. Here's the snap handoff. Chadwick right, or rather Warren right up the middle, and no running room at all. Defensive line of Krieger, Bell, and Dankert really do the job that time for Catholic Central. No gain on the play, second and 10.
Well, once again, I think just before we were mentioning, Jim Uli sets up that defense for that pass as he bangs it at you, bangs it at you, bangs it at you again. And I was noticing just before that Catholic Central had pulled in their defense as we described early in this ball game. And Jim Uli said, hey, I'm not afraid to throw the ball. You just got to, get that defense where I can get a chance at being successful.
Quarterback keeper running around the right side. Lobdell with running room. He's at the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30, inside the 30, the 27-yard line. Greg Lobdell on a keeper that time. Pat McHale finally brings him down from behind, but Lobdell showed some real good running that time to get away and get that much yardage.
Third time now they've run that play with Greg Lobdell, and he's looked good every single time, and I think picked up 10, 12 yards every time.
That one was good for 17 and a first down inside the 30 at the 27-yard line of the Shamrocks. Trojans with the football, up by 3. Want to change that momentum, and it looks like they're doing it. Nadlicki, the ball carrier, runs into Ryan Bell right at the line of scrimmage. Jim Gorney and Jankowski come up to help, and little or no gain on the play. Maybe a yard. We'll call it in second and 9, about the 26.5.
Well, that last run by Greg Lobdell just turned on this Traverse City crowd, and I hope somebody turned the lights out up there because there's nobody home in Traverse City. Holy cow, what a crowd.
Great crowd, and they've got their little Panther Power placards, and boy, they're waving those, and it's a great festive atmosphere. Wish you were here. Back to pass, looking downfield, Lobdell throwing it up in the corner. Got a man open, and it's broken up at the last second very neatly over there by number 36, Greg Paler. Pass was intended for Darren Ehrenberger and was open for a moment, but had to wait on the ball just a little bit. Gave Paler enough time to get over there and break it up.
Well, the Panther Power placards out there are actually from Frankfurt. You turn them the other way around, and they say Traverse City Trojans Power. Interesting crowd story. They get about 6,000 folks for all of their home games up in Traverse City. Jim Uli, when they sold their allotment, 3,000 tickets go to each school. Jim Uli sold their 3,000, forgot to buy his wife a ticket. And luckily, it's the Silverdome. There's lots of seats here. She came down and found one.
Oh, fine. I bet you he was real popular, wasn't he?
Oh. Instant trouble when you forget the lady of the house.
Traverse City with the football, third down, about 9 yards to go for the first down. We've got a little moment. We'll remind you that you can have your own keepsake of these state championships games, any class at all, by virtue of your own video recording. The Michigan High School Athletic Association is promoting the sale of these videos, complete with play-by-play action and all the color and commentary of the entire contest. They're $33.65 each, and you can get yours by sending your money to Football Finals Tape, Pontiac Silverdome, 1200 Featherstone Road, Pontiac 48057. It's a good way to support the Athletic Association, a fine association here in Michigan, and also have a good keepsake for any one of the 4 championship games here at the Dome today.
Kind of interesting, this Traverse City squad, one of the few independent schools remaining around the state. they do some traveling on a 2-year basis, home and home. They'll hit Holland, Escanaba, Detroit, Flint, Jackson, Muskegon, Alpena, Grand Rapids, and Pontiac. Wow.
Trojans with a football, 3rd and 9. They're in Shamrock territory at the 27-yard line. Lobdell up under center, calling signals. 2 wideouts, straight back to pass. Good protection, cocks his arm, throws it up, and he's hit just as he threw it. Good defensive effort by Ryan Bell that time. And Lobdell just could not get it off in time. And we're going to be talking a 44-yard field goal here. And who's to say he can't do it? He's already hit a 46-yarder.
Brian Bell really having a fine game for Detroit Catholic Central. Mentioned him a couple of times in the first half, and here in the second half, he makes 2 of the last 3 plays. Big plays. Stops Nadlicki on first down, forces Traverse City into the pass situation, then pressures the quarterback, forces the incompletion on 3rd.
Eric Bright up, the backup quarterback, will spot it at the 39-yard line. Or 34, rather, make it a 44-yard attempt. The kick is up. It's got the distance. It's no good. Wide right. It had enough leg, but it was wide right. Timeout on the field. 9:33 remaining in the game. Trojans 10, Shamrocks 7. We'll be back after this word on the MHSAA Football Network. Catholic Central facing 3rd and 9 in their own territory at the 20-yard line after the missed field goal by Traverse City. Back to pass, Hauncher looking downfield, cocks his arm, good protection, throws it up over the middle. Intercepted at the 30-yard line by Traverse City. The Trojans get the ball right back. Coming up with a big interception right there, Andy Bailey, the inside linebacker, 170-pound senior, comes up with a big interception as the Shamrocks could do nothing on first or second down. Went up the pass, and it was intercepted.
Well, you know, Scott Hauncher would like to have that one back. He threw into triple coverage, and he threw the football right to the defensive player, and there was no chance at all for his wide receiver to do anything about it. Just a poor pass by Scott Hauncher.
Traverse City with the football now, 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line of Detroit Catholic Central. Handoff, Nadlicki straight up the middle. Little or no running room. 25,441 fans here this morning for the morning session. You've got to love it, and everybody's having a ball.
Well, they sure have been a vocal group as far as our side is concerned, John.
Boy, they sure have.
They have just been drowning us out here every once in a while. Every time Traverse City gets a first down, they're up and screaming. And, of course, a lot of those fans are from Frankfort who stuck around to see their fellow team from up north there try to do a state championship number on Catholic Central.
2nd and 9, TC, man in motion, pitch back, Nadlicki left side. Cuts to the outside, got running room, 25-20 and out of bounds, very close to first down yardage. They'll mark him just short of it. It's going to bring up 3rd and very, very short, just outside the 20-yard line of Catholic Central. Traverse City with the ball and the lead. 7:40 remaining in this football game.
Well, this game has gone by extremely fast as both of these teams like to move the ball on the ground. There have been very few penalties, very few mistakes, not a lot of passing, and all of those things put together make for a quick ball game.
Trojans break the huddle. Surrey out over the football. Deerbrook are the guards. Colin, McPherson are the tackles. Tight ends, Burkholder and center. Short yardage situation. Handoff left side. First down yardage for Mike Nadlicki, Krieger, and Dankert on the stop, but not before Mike picks up first down yardage down around the 16-yard line.
Boy, and let's credit that left side of the offensive line again for the Trojans. Matt Collins at his tackle spot over there, 215 pounds. Jim Deere at the guard, 5'8", 185. And, of course, the center, who's been steady all day, Dan Syria, at a senior at 5'11" and 190. Moving some people out of the way.
Power to the right side. Here's the snap. Nadlicki again off the right side. Inside the 15, down to around the 12-yard line. Second down, about 6 yards for the first down, and about 12 yards for the touchdown. For Traverse City, leading 10-7, knocking at the door, threatening to add to that lead right here.
Well, how's the old saying go? You got to dance with the guy who brung you to the party, and Jim Ulley's doing that right now. Mike Nadlicki carrying on almost every play.
Power to the right side with the wing, split backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. He gets it again off the left side, battling his way forward. But coming up, Steve Zerlad making a good tackle on Nadlicki that time. Gets it inside the 10, down to around the 8-yard line. And he needs to get to the 5-yard line for a first down. It's third, and we'll call it a long 2, short 3.
John, the Shamrock defense a little late to get set that time. They had a lot of people moving around just as the ball was snapped, and you don't want to do that against a powerhouse running team like the Trojans.
Two tight ends, Aaron Berger, Burkholder. Here's the snap, handoff. Nadlicki again, running room. He gets to the 5, inside the 5, first down, Traverse City. One man to beat, and he didn't do it. But again, like you said, Bill, that left side of the line, Collins, Deere, and Seria, along with Burkholder, the tight end over there, are just moving that line back. And when you win it at the line of scrimmage, you usually end up winning it on the scoreboard. We've got a timeout on the field, ladies and gentlemen. The score, Traverse City 10, Shamrocks 7. We'll be back after this word on the MHSAA Football Network.
Well, nothing real fancy about that drive or about that touchdown as the Trojans go to their old-style football. As Mark just mentioned a few moments ago, they've been impressive with their ground game and their rushing game all year long, and they take the ball here after an interception and just push it right on into the end zone.
Josh Werfel will attempt the extra point. It's placed, it's up, almost blocked, but it's good. And we've got a 17-7 ball game with 5:42 remaining in this one, the Class A state championship game. I'd like to take a moment here and say hello to all of our friends listening on WCBY in Sheboygan, WDOW AM and FM in Dowagiac, WMIC Radio in Sandusky, Michigan, WKLA over in Ludington, WM40. Here's the boot. A little wobbler coming down, and it's taken at about the 15 out to the 20-yard line and stopped right there. Mike Mathis returning that one, and he's tackled in there by Pat Bloom and a host of black and gold Trojans, and the Shamrocks will start as if it were a touchback at their own 20.
John, one of the difficult things now for Redford Detroit Catholic Central is that Jim Hooley in Traverse City knows the same thing you do, and that is that they're going to have to throw, and they're going to tee off up front and really be looking now for Mr. Huncher.
Well, anytime you have to throw the ball, it makes it more difficult. Mark, you hit it on the head. Look out, Mr. Huncher, here we come.
Wide left, slot left, man in motion, 3 men in the pattern, back to pass Huncher, looking over the field, throws it up, almost intercepted and tipped away, and a good play that time by Scott Harris. Pat intended for Sean O'Keefe, but it falls incomplete. Scott Harris coming across from the inside, getting high in the air and slapping it away.
Well, a zone defense situation that time, and Scott Harris, coming from his deep safety position on the wide side of the field, had a lot of time to read that ball because it was in the air for so long. Got his fingertips on it. He's got 3 interceptions on the year, almost had number 4.
2nd and 10, Shamrocks back to pass Huncher again. Good protection, cocks his arm, throws it up over the middle. It's intercepted at the 30, the 25, and down to the 20-yard line. Andy Bailey, his 2nd interception of the day. The 170-pound senior inside linebacker picks off number 2 in this Class A state championship game.
Well, Andy Bailey, once again in that linebacker situation, took a deep drop, got into the hook zone, and was able to pick the ball off for the 2nd time. Coming into this ball game, I didn't have Andy with any interceptions. He's got 2 so far in this one. He's got to love this day.
Oh, he'll love it and remember it forever. Traverse City now knocking at the door, 21-yard line. They come out of the huddle. Snap, handoff, guess who? Mike Nadlicki up over the middle, down around the 19-yard line.
Well, and we'll see this kind of good, smart football here for as long as Traverse City can hold on to it now. They just want to grind the final 4.5 minutes out.
Ryan Bell and Steve Zerlag on the stop. Catholic Central, of course, in the Class A state championship game last year, losing, shutout this year, losing again at this point, trailing by 10 with 4:22 remaining, and Traverse City in excellent field position. Lobdell calling signals, rolling out to the left side, gets away from one man, gets across the 20, the 15, the 10. He's inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Greg Lobdell, the 6-foot senior, his 4th carry of the afternoon, picks up another 13 yards on that bootleg left this time and gives his teammates a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
Greg Lobdell is going to be close to Mike Nadlicki's yardage total before we're done here. He's got 50, 60 yards on those 4 little quarterback keepers.
2 tight ends in a balanced line. Power right in the backfield. Here's the snap. Handoff left side. Trev Gillow, the ball carrier, gets it down around the 5-yard line before he's stacked up in there by a host of royal blue and white jerseys. And Tom Mock and company on the sideline have got to be thinking, whoa, what are we going to do now? We've got to keep him out of the end zone to have any kind of chance at all. If they could hold him just to a field goal, 2 touchdowns would still win it. But Traverse City's not their only enemy. That clock is starting to get to be one as well. Lobdell, 59 yards rushing so far in the day. Handoff, Nadlicki, left side, inside the 5, down around the 2-yard line. Steve Zerlag and Kevin Jankowski on the stop defensively. They both had pretty darn good days over there. And that defensive unit for Catholic Central has been on the field a good bit today.
Well, and remember, there's an awful lot of the Shamrock players that are playing over there two-way, 6 to be exact. And you're talking about the ones over on the left side especially, because that's where Mr. Nedlicki has been running most of the afternoon.
3rd and goal, 2 tight ends in the balance line. Nedlicki on the left side powers his way into the end zone. He was stopped at the 2-yard line and virtually tanked his way on into the end zone.
Well, what a drive by Nedlicki. He had the ball, and he covered it up with both arms, hit into that big offensive front that he's got there on that left side once again. And you said it, he was stacked up, and he said, nope, I'm coming on in, mister. He got those legs going, had to jump over the top a little bit, and ended up way on into the end zone, no doubt about going over the goal line.
Well, you gotta love it. Quarterback comes off the field. Greg Lobdell gets a great big hug from Coach Jim Hooley. He's smiling. He's happy. They're fired up. TC's going to take the big one home. Extra point attempt now coming up. Kick is up, and it's good. So, 2:51 left in the game. Trojans 24, Shamrocks 7. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow our stations along the way to identify themselves. You're listening to Michigan Sports Services, a division of the Great Lakes Media Group. John Tomlinson, Mark Crawford, and Bill Brandell back at the Pontiac Silverdome. Class A action, high school football at its finest. And the TC Trojans and all of their fans are going to go home happy today. They are leading with 2:51 to go by 17 points. And it looks rather dismal for the Catholic Central squad and fans. Been a great football game. Traverse City with those 2 big interceptions, picking up points on both of them. And that's got to hurt you.
Well, it certainly does, and that kind of puts the nail in the coffin, as they say, as the time plus the scoreboard just going to be too much now for the Shamrocks. They played an excellent ball game. I was about to mention just before the touchdown was scored that there wasn't any quit down there, and there certainly wasn't, even on the touchdown. We mentioned Nedlicki powering his way in, but he had all kinds of people in front of him, and it's just been a titanic battle all the way through.
Werfel getting ready to kick it off. Johnston back deep to receive it around the 5. Here's the kick, a low squibbler. It's taken at the 18, out to the 20, the 25, the 30, and that's about all. The run back that time accomplished by Jeff Seabuck, tackled in there by Scott Carter and Andy Wright. And it'll be Shamrocks football in their own territory. They'll spot it at about the 29-yard line. 1st and 10, trailing by 17 with 2:45 remaining in the contest.
It's going to be interesting now to see if Tom Mock decides to keep his air hauncher attack alive, or if he is just going to run the ball and get out of here.
He's going to run it. Hauncher on a keeper out to the 30, the 35, approaches the 40-yard line, just short of a first down. Pick up about 9 yards on the play. Getting up off the bottom of the pile defensively, Andy Bailey, and what a game he's had. If you're going to hand out any defensive game balls or anything, I'd say Andy'd have to be right at the top of the list today.
A day that he will long remember. 2 interceptions for the senior.
2nd and short, Shamrocks with the football. Wide receivers either side, I formation in the backfield. Back to pass, looking downfield, cocks his arm, can't find anybody. Now he's going to run with it. Now he throws it up top, and it is incomplete. No flags on the play. A little bit of bumping down there on contact. Pass was intended deep for Mike Mathis. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and short.
Almost a cardinal sin by the Traverse City defense, as Mike Mathis was behind the defense there. And if quarterback Scott Hauncher had been able to throw that one up a little bit, Mr. Matthews was gone.
3rd and short. The ball in their own territory at the 39-yard line. I formation. Receivers either side. Back to pass Hauncher, looking over the middle. Throws it up along the sideline. It's complete and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. 1st down yardage in Trojan territory. They'll spot it at about the 45.
Great concentration there by Chris Johnston as he took the ball right on the sidelines and actually got his toes to just kind of stay in as he fell out and kept control of the ball for the reception. Great catch.
Pickup of 16 yards. Clock down under 2 minutes now. 1:54 remaining. Back to pass. Hauncher again. Looking downfield. Throws it up over the middle. Complete to Owens. Owens battling at the 40-yard line. Is swarmed under by black and gold jerseys. And who else leading the charge? Andy Bailey. Also in on the stop defensively, Derek Hansen. And number 44, Scott Carter.
Dave Owens just only able to get free one time today, and on that time got the 6 points on the board for the Shamrocks.
Coach Uli trying to get in some fresh players now, give everybody a shot at playing. Hauncher back to pass again, cocks his arm, throws it up over the middle. It's incomplete, just tipped away a little bit by the defense as Mike Mathis had an opportunity to catch it at full speed, but just couldn't quite hold on. Lots of new numbers and names and faces now coming into that Traverse City defensive alignment. Noah Flores comes out, had a real good game at defensive end. Third down, 5 yards to go for the first down. Shamrocks in TC territory at the 40-yard line. Back to pass again, Hauncher looking downfield. Throws it up, got a man open. 25-20, out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And again, Mark, as you mentioned, Lou Yeager got behind the defense. Not something you want to happen even though you're leading by 17 points. 19 yards on that one. 1:08 on the clock. 24-7 TC over Catholic Central. Catholic Central threatening to go on the board, and then it's going to be onside kick time. You can bet on that if they get it in quick. Hauncher looks over the defense, barks out the signals. Back to pass, looking over the middle, can't find anybody. Now he throws it up the corner of the end zone. Touchdown! Good reception that time by Lou Yeager. The big 6'3", 200-pound tight end hauls it in. And the Shamrocks are in the end zone.
Well, Lou Yeager, once again, Mark has called it, able to slip in behind as his pattern comes from that tight end position. He goes to the outside, then gets to the sideline and just streaks down the outside. The zone defense just not able to pick him up. And quarterback Scott Hauncher lobbing it out there, and he's able to grab it for the 6. Elezovic
puts it up, and it's through. It's good. We've got a 10-point ball game now, but only 101 ticks left on the clock. 24-14. I'll remind you one more time to have your own keepsake of this or any other high school championship football game here today. You can have your own home video. Send $33.65 to Football Finals Tapes, Pontiac Silverdome, 1200 Featherstone, Pontiac, Michigan, 48057. It's being promoted and sold and profited by the Michigan High School Athletic Association. It's a great keepsake for you, your family, or possibly any of the fans for either team. And it's certainly a real good way to support the High School Athletic Association that does so much for our student athletes here in the great state of Michigan. And not just in the big fan sports like football and basketball, but how about baseball and soccer and wrestling and girls athletics? They're involved in it all and do a tremendous job, and you can support them at least in this way.
John, one more quick note on that touchdown pass from Hauncher to Lou Yeager, the 16-yard TD pass. Really a nice pass by Hauncher, throwing it up in the corner and letting Yeager use his 6'3" to go up over a defensive back who was 5'7". So they took advantage of the 8-inch height advantage, and Yeager's a good jumper as well, and he just went up and took the football away.
We've seen some good tight ends here today.
Yeah.
Burkholder for Traverse City, and of course the gentleman in the first game that we saw as well.
Mr. Pryor from Schoolcraft.
Here's your onside kick attempt, and it's covered at the 50-yard line by Traverse City.
Dave Drake.
Good job by Dave right up in front. Drops on the football. Clock is now under a minute at 59 seconds. Remind you that Rick Berkey will be providing our post-game features here this afternoon. Get all the stats from Rick and our two color coordinators who are doing an excellent job today, Mark Crawford and Bill Brandell. Traverse City breaks out of the huddle now. New quarterback in the ball game, Eric Breitup. Breitup, a senior as well, hands off on the left side. new ball carrier in the game, number 42 for Traverse City. We'll check that one for you. And that's Mark King, a 5'8" junior. So Coach Uli going to substitutions, clock down to 33 seconds. For all practical purposes, this is history. Traverse City will be taking home the trophy. And this will probably be the last play of the game. Handoff straight up the middle. Still battling for extra yardages. Whistle blows. And this one goes in the record books. The Traverse City Trojans have defeated Detroit Catholic Central by a score of 24-14. And you've heard it live here, and we're glad to have you with us. Remind you that our statistician for this contest has been John Salau. Our producer here in the booth, Larry Stahl. Back at our studio control, L.D. Reynolds and Jimmy Rail. And Paul Romanowski has been our spotter. Thanks to all of those gentlemen for help putting this particular show on for you. We'll be back with our post-game features, ladies and gentlemen, after this word on the MHSAA Championship Football Network.
Director of Athletics, Trenton High School, and a member of the MHSAA Representative Council will make the trophy presentation to the Class A runner-up, the Shamrocks of Catholic Central. Accepting the runner-up trophy, Coach Tom Mack. Championship trophy, Class A, presented to Traverse City Trojans, accepting Coach Jim Uli.